Hey guys, what's going on? Banana156 here with another video, and in this video I want to talk about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This movie is the movie of all time. I'm just joking. It is absolutely phenomenal. It is one of the greatest animated movies ever, and I can safely say that it was one of the most, I wouldn't say impactful, it was just one of the most incredible movies I've ever seen, and it's stuck with me for ever since I've saw it. I can't stop thinking about it. I just love everything about it. So today, I just want to talk about why it's so great and what exactly I love about it. So first, we have to talk about first I want to talk about the characters, and then later I want to talk about the themes. And those are the two main reasons why I think this movie is so great. And honestly, today I want to talk about my two favorite characters in the movie. Now, I do know there's a lot of characters in the movie. There's Perito, Kitty Softpaws, Jack Horner, the Bears, and Goldilocks, all those guys. And I will do videos on them if you guys would like it. But today I want to talk about Puss and Death. And specifically, the journey that Puss goes on, and how Death prompts him to go on that journey, and how that journey represents the themes that we will later on talk about. So first, let's look at Puss at the beginning of the movie. Puss is our great, fearless hero who's never been touched by a blade. Well, unfortunately, that's about to change for Puss. As we can see in this movie, Puss has his 8th death, meaning as a cat he only has one life left, and this absolutely changes everything about Puss. As in the beginning of the movie, Puss was this arrogant, egotistical, fearless hero who laughed in the face of death. And honestly, he didn't respect death whatsoever. He thought he was immortal and could do no wrong. But when he died fighting that giant in the opening scenes of the movie, we can see that his attitude changed quickly thereafter. And we can see that while he's in the bar after his visit with the doctor, where the doctor tells him to hang up the boots and give the legend a rest, so his last life isn't cut short. And Puss in Boots is obviously quite distraught by this, and he doesn't want to do it. Puss in Boots wants to continue being the legend, and he just simply doesn't want to quit, because he laughs in the face of death. Well, that is until Death comes face to face with Puss in Boots. We can see in this bar scene, Death makes one of the greatest entrances of a villain into a movie of all time, and shows Puss what Death is all about. We can see in this absolutely phenomenal scene, Death overpowers Puss quite quickly, and makes it look like Puss doesn't even know what he's doing. And in the words of Death, Puss didn't live up to the legend. And with this encounter with Death, Puss becomes incredibly scared and runs away, and becomes an old, scared cat living in this absolutely depressing house of an old woman with who knows how many other cats. And it leads to him not truly living life, but just existing. But eventually he wakes up from his depressive state, I guess I could say, living in that house because of Perito. And him and Perito go on adventures, and they meet up with Kitty Softpaws, and they go on their adventure for the last wish. And on that adventure, Puss is constantly running from death. He's constantly scared of it and will do anything to get away from it that he possibly can. Even the journey itself is to get away from death so he can get his lives back. But while on that journey, he learns the importance of friends and what living a valuable life actually means. Because up to this point, we can see that Puss didn't really value his life at all. That's why he died 8 times up to that point. He didn't value his life and didn't live an enriching life. He led somewhat of an empty life. And that was because of his legend. The legend of Puss in Boots. He's never been touched by a blade. Nothing could stop him. He's the fearless hero. He's the greatest hero in all the land. All of those things are what Puss in Boots was. But that legend was so big, it meant there was no room for anyone else in his life. And that's exactly why he stood up Kitty Softpaws at their wedding at Santa Coloma. And exactly why he walks alone. Because his legend had become so large, his ego had become so big, everything about him became so exaggerated that it meant he couldn't have an actual life. He couldn't have actual friends, and he couldn't have people that actually cared for him. But on this journey to get the last wish, all of that was stripped away from him. He was now a scared cat trying to get his lives back, and that allowed Perito and Kitty Softpaws to re-enter his life and show him the true value of people. Now, with that being the story of Puss in this movie, we can see him go from an egotistical, arrogant asshole, and because of death and his ever-looming presence, Puss learns the true value of friendship and the value of people in our lives and how to live a valuable life instead of an empty one. And that's what this movie is all about, and that's what the main themes are about. And that's exactly why this movie is so incredible, because yes, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is supposedly a kid's movie, but the themes that this movie talks about, or this movie presents, are not really for children at all. They're for everyone. Everyone needs to hear these themes. And, well, I'm going to talk about two main themes for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish today. And they both stem from the fact that death comes for us all. And with that fact, that's just what it is. We live and we die, and that's just the end of it. We can't get away from it. No matter what, we will die at the end of the road. And that leads us to the two main themes that stem from it. The first of which is we can't be scared to live our life. We can't be scared of death. We can't be constantly running from death. And the second is that we have to value our life and respect our life and learn to live a valuable life, because one day death will come for us. Before we talk about living a valuable life, let's first talk about why we shouldn't live our life scared. And to talk about this, we have to look at Puss's time as Pickles living in that old woman's house with about 1 billion other cats. We can see that Puss, at the beginning of this sequence, Puss had a funeral for Puss in Boots. He buried the boots, he buried the cape, he buried the hat, and he became Pickles. And Pickles was a sad sack, to say the least. He lived in this old woman's house and slept all day, went to the bathroom in the same litter box as 1 million other cats, ate in a trough with 1 million other cats, and it was honestly quite depressing to see our great hero fall this far. But that's exactly what happens when we fear death and when we're scared to live our life. We can see that Puss in Boots' life gets incredibly better once he goes out on an adventure with Perito and Kitty Softpaws. He has fun, he's enjoying himself, and he's doing what he loves. And that's because, yes, he was still scared of death, but he went on an adventure anyway. And that's exactly how we should be. Because yes, death will come for us, yes, we will all die, but that doesn't mean we can't live our life. We can still go on adventures and do fun things. And that's exactly what we're meant to do, because we only have one life, and we shouldn't waste it. And unfortunately, Puss almost wasted his being Pickles. And this leads into the second theme of the movie incredibly well. And that theme is, we have to learn to value life and learn what makes a valuable life and how to live a good life. And to illustrate this point, we have to look at Puss at the beginning of the movie. We can see that Puss is an egotistical, arrogant asshole with a legend too big to let any friends in. And we can see that this leads to him being lonely and not living a fulfilling life. And it also leads to him not valuing life, as he died 8 times and laughed in the face of death. But because of death's presence in this movie and how scared he made Puss, it made Puss realize how important life is and why we should live a valuable life. On his journey with Perito and Kitty Softpaws, Puss learns that it's not so great to be alone. It's not so great to be this great legend who walks alone, but instead, having friends and being part of team friendship can be incredibly valuable. And he also learns that instead of living an empty life, being a legend, going town to town, going party to party, and fighting all these guys, it's important to have those friends and have a deeper, more full life. And that's all because of death. And we should take the same lesson that Puss did. That we shouldn't live this empty life full of a supposed legend and going to parties and doing all these empty things. We should instead find people that genuinely care for us and do what we genuinely enjoy and have a fulfilling life. So when we look at Puss in Boots, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, on the surface it looks like a kid's movie. But if we dive a little bit deeper, we can see one of the most incredible animated films of all time. It is absolutely phenomenal. And we can see that it is phenomenal because of Puss, the main character, who's an arrogant, egotistical asshole who slowly becomes someone who values and respects life and is less arrogant, egotistical, through the fear and the presence of death. And we can see that the themes that this film conveys are absolutely phenomenal. The themes that we should not be scared to live our life and do what we enjoy and go out on adventures, but at the same time we should also do things that are fulfilling and value our life and live a fulfilling life rather than just doing these empty things like Puss was at the beginning of the movie. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about Puss in Boots. It's an absolutely phenomenal movie with phenomenal themes and phenomenal characters. And let me tell you, I absolutely love Death. He's the coolest character I've ever fucking seen. He's absolutely amazing. His presentation is phenomenal. Everything about him is just badass. I just love him. And I just love the movie overall. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different than the videos I normally do. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want more videos on the other characters in Puss in Boots, I will more than happily do them. So yeah, if you want that, leave a comment. Remember, like and subscribe if you want. And yeah, have a good day, guys. See ya.